It's a beautiful Monday morning here in Lagos. I am Nifemi Oguntoye standing in for Yori Folari, fondly called Uncle Yori on the show. 7 days to Christmas. How you getting ready? Hope it's going to be a fun Christmas and that you enjoy some quality time with friends and family. And hopefully that the economy also gets better so everyone can, have a great time. We're back this morning discussing perhaps one of the biggest political stories in the last quarter of the year. Our attention is turned to Rivers State. We had a very dramatic week last week, beginning with the defection of some 27 lawmakers from the PDP to the APC. You saw the demolition of the House of Assembly and the ex parte motion that the 4 members got at the Federal High Court in Rivers State, given he led them 4 lawmakers some recognition by the judiciary. The governor went ahead to present the 800 billion naira 2024 budget of renewed hope, and it was passed in less than 24 hours. We also saw the wave of resignation. The last count, I think 9, members of the Rivers State government cabinet have now voluntarily resigned their position, beginning with the Attorney General of the state and Commissioner for Justice, whose resignation we found out was dated 14th November of the year. That's exactly 2 weeks after the initial attempt to impeach Governor Fubara. Interesting developments in Rivers. And I'm joined by someone who should know, who's a former member of the Lagos State House of Assembly and also a member of the APC Presidential Campaign Council. Honorable Segun Olulade, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good morning, and compliment of the season.
Wish you the same.
Yeah.
I hope it's going to be a wonderful Christmas, right?
By the grace of God.
By the grace of God. Awesome. So what do you make of the development in Rivers State, particularly when you see how rapidly things have evolved or unfolded in the past week?
Well, first of all, it's quite unfortunate that we are witnessing this in Rivers State. First of all, the issue of the governor and his erstwhile boss, former governor, Wike, that's their own political party issue. What concerns me mostly is the fact that a arm of government is being battered. That arm of government is the arm of government that authenticates democracy, and that is the legislative arm of government. And when you look at what happened in Rivers State, from the suspension of a year by the House of Assembly, from the fact that a section of the House of Assembly was burnt and they ascribed it to hoodlums.
And now demolished.
And let's assume that the hoodlums, burnt a section of the House of Assembly. The governor of the state and the government of Rivers State now was made public to come over and demolish the entire structure. Not only any records of a house is being demolished, every property owned by the house or by members of the house were all demolished.
They said there's a structural defect, according to professionals, as a result of the fire.
Where is the report of the experts? Where are the reports? Number one, even if there are structural defects, the first thing that is expected is for them to condone the areas that is affected. Such was not done. So that structural effects led to even destroying other property or other offices or other section of the house. I don't think Governor Fubara was well tutored, and I think that is the problem that we are facing today. If not, going to the house to demolish that arm of government he can wake up tomorrow and say somebody. He does not like the judgment given by a court in Rivers, and he will go there and demolish the entire court. I think that's an abuse of power, and is even weighty enough as that can be considered as a misconduct from the governor.
You know, some would
and
say
can lead to impeachment. But what they were even talking about impeachment can't be done in a day. There is a process of impeachment. You need to serve the fellow. That also have the right to respond to whatever allegation you are labeling against him or her before you can even set up a panel. And the chief judge of the state, we have to set up a panel
and investigate
the matter. Before you can now come to the issue of them even coming back to say, okay, this fellow, according to our investigation, everything you said is correct. Then the House can now sit down with 2/3 members of the House supporting that impeachment. If that have not started, I don't see why they will have to go up to this level.
You know, they say it depends on who is talking and from which angle you're looking at it from. Some would say what we see play out in Rivers is a story of betrayal. Others will say it's a story of independence from godfatherism. And Fubara isn't an exception. It's a long history that dates back orderly, versus Amechi. Even Amechi and Wike had, their own episode. But we're going to get to the political dimension of it. I'd like to talk about what we see play out at the House of Assembly. We now have 4 lawmakers recognized by the Federal High Court. But what do you make of the procedure of passing the 2024 budget? You have been in the House. Perhaps you can let us know what that process looks like. Is it something that can be achieved within 24 hours?
First of all, what they did was to just do whatever thing they want to do at the corner of their house. It can never be recognized by law. The 4 members that sat, first of all, who was the deputy speaker in the House, if we want to recognize 4 people to represent the entire state of 32 constituencies, who was the majority leader, who was the chief whip, who was the chairman of standing committees, of each standing committees that sat with which members. Because there's a process for you to pass a bill. I mean, not even a money bill like a budget, which is constitutionally backed. For you to pass such a bill, you would have to have the first reading, the second reading. They must have committed it to the committee. The committee will now have the opportunity of trying to ensure that they have scrutinized the budget. They ask necessary questions from the ministries and agencies within that budgetary framework. But all that can never be done within 24 hours.
How long does it take?
The minimum, if nothing happens, is maybe 2-3 weeks. Maybe they are in agreement with what is on the table. Before they can now bring it back, the minimum is 3 weeks. And you cannot say 4 people will represent the entire 32 constituencies. So whatever thing they put in there for my own constituency or your own constituency, you don't have the right to know about it.
Already they have declared the seats of the 27 lawmakers vacant.
That is also an aberration.
How so?
Because number one, the leader that eventually we were told, that sat down in the corner of their rooms to say he has been appointed as speaker. By who? Before you can be appointed as speaker, you need the majority of the House to elect you as the speaker. So where is the majority?
Whichever way that happened, are you talking with the knowledge that these 4 members appear to be backed by law? They have a subsisting, interim order,
As
that
at
gives
last
them
week.
legitimacy till the
As at last
21st
week.
day of December.
As at last week.
Exactly. So I'm saying
Because
that it will
there is
seem that
also a
whatever they're
court-
doing right now seems to have the backing of the law.
No, it doesn't. As at now, there is another judgment on Friday that says the 27 lawmaker, their seats cannot be vacated because they still members of that house. And whatsoever thing they do is members of the house. So that also negates that other judgment that was given initially. Because how can you just even give 4 people if there is nothing? So the 2 of them, both Wike and his godson, none of them are saints in this matter. Because Wike should give him the opportunity to lead, if because it was alleged that he was the one that wanted to impeach him. But we have not seen any impeachment notice. It was just an allegation of impeachment notice that were not seen or heard of. You cannot just go to, it's a beer parlor talk to say they wanted to impeach me and because of that they burned the house and because of that they have to demolish.
That conversation was had at the floor of the House of Assembly. There were moves to invite, the chief judge and, actually kickstart an investigation into the governor himself. So that was how he reacted. Some would say, if you were Governor Fubara, what would you have done differently at the time?
What I would have done differently is
that they were after his job.
No. What I would have done differently is to use the people, the leadership of our party. They belong to the same party. They are PDP. We are APC. We are happy that they are fighting. But and another thing is this: they keep leaking it and talking about the president should intervene. The president, I know, because they were also saying there is no division in PDP. If there is no division, why are they looking for our own president, the leader of another political party? They have a presidential candidate, Atiku, that could have called the 2 of them together and resolved the matter in-house. Why are they looking for somebody else in another family? Because it's a political matter. It has nothing to do with governance. And when you talk about, because Wike is serving in the government of Mr. President, is serving as an individual representing PDP, given an assignment to serve in FCT. Whatsoever thing he does outside FCT is his personal business. So if there is anybody that have that right today to call the 2 of them, I think it should be Atiku Abubakar, because he's the presidential candidate of the party.
But that's not going to happen.
That also establishes the fact that there is a division within the party.
Well, the party does not represent those individuals that you have mentioned. Atiku Abubakar was only a presidential candidate under the APC. He doesn't hold PDP. He doesn't hold any particular position outside of that.
Within the party?
Yes, within the party.
Now, in their party, 3 people, and they said there is no division. 3 people, because they said the narrative out there, 3 people are laying claim to the secretary of the party. And in the local palace, we always say this: no secretary, no meeting. 3, there is Anyang, there is Okoye, there is Koshodo. The 3 of them, Anyang was the one elected as the party secretary. He now went to become the candidate of PDP in Imo. And he was trying to hold on because he knows he cannot win Imo. So he wanted to hold on to the party secretariat. Why? If the party member cannot go to their secretariat and get whatsoever thing they want to get in there, then there's a problem. You cannot say they don't have problem.
You know what?
Then Okoye, the entire Southeast PDP, they came out together and said, we are nominating Okoye as our candidate to replace Anyang I am said, no, I'm not going to. They went to court. While they were in court, the acting national chairman of PDP now said, okay, because the two of you, they now have judgment. That was a judgment that says they should recognize Okoye. But against that judgment, because PDP are talking about the rule of law, against that judgment, they went ahead to bring Koshodo, who happened to be the deputy national secretary, to act. So 3 people, as I speak with you, 3 people are still laying claim.
Let us leave the decision to whether there's division within the party or not to the court to determine.
Yeah.
But what do you make of that move for these lawmakers to have left the PDP to APC? Because I heard them and they were saying they've always supported Asiwaju even before the election.
Yes.
And
including Fubara.
They supported him while in the PDP, right?
Yes, including Fubara.
And they won election for him.
Yes.
Do you think it made political sense for them to have left the PDP at this time?
At the time,
because some said that they have shot themselves in the foot.
It's a lie.
And that's the precedent. That's the basis upon which the 4 lawmakers had the privilege to declare that it's vacant. It is only
the court. Because even as we speak now, we have 2 factional speakers in Rivers. So it's only the court that have that authority, that constitutional backing to say this is the right speaker or this is the right chairman of the party or whatever. But what we have seen today is the fact that you cannot declare a seat vacant when some people have also not recognized you as speaker. How could and that case have also not been, it's just have not been decided yet in the court. They just got an injunction, which they are still going to sit and determine the real issue within in the court. So it's still a long road, but it's unfortunate that the people of Rivers are the one that
exactly my point. And that has been the position of the governor. He's saying that, you know what, some would say you can't discuss this matter without going back to the political source. Yep. The allegation is that the former governor wants a substantial control over the affairs of the state, despite not being the state governor. And the current governor is saying, you know what, I'm going to stand behind millions of Rivers people, you know, to ensure that that doesn't happen. But this is not the first time it's happening. It's happened before in Kano State between Tambo and the former governor. It's happened in Edo State between Oshomole and Obaseki. I mean, there's a long list of governors who have had issues with their predecessors. The big question right here would be, is there still a political solution in view to having this resolved between these 2 individuals at this time?
Well, there is always a political solution to political matters.
After the resignation of about 9 members of the cabinet,
there's still political solution.
Who were told are loyal to the former government.
There's still political solution. If I am Fubara this morning, I will join APC. As at this morning, I will be the one to join the APC. But for him to sit down in PDP with his godfather, who is also a PDP man, who is leading a faction in PDP, because people keep saying there is no division in PDP. In good conscience, can anybody say that today? What about the G5 in PDP? What has still continued to happen even within the secretariat when people who cannot write letter, how have they been able, have you ever seen them coming to say the leadership of PDP or the National Working Committee of PDP have invited the 2 people fighting?
You think Fubara joining APC will resolve this issue?
It will give him a soft landing because 27 members of the House are already in APC.
He doesn't see it that way. If you ask Governor Fubara this morning, he tells you that they have lost their seats.
Well, he doesn't have the rights.
And he has a history. He has a rich history. We have seen it play out that governors indeed seem to have control over the House of Assembly. You saw what happened in Edo State, where the governor refused 9 members who were elected. It did not allow them to be sworn in. We saw that play out for the entirety of that political tenure.
Well, we have a new sheriff in town. Democracy those who fought for democracy will not see the House of Assembly being messed around with. So you cannot say that the House of Assembly should be left in the hands of the governor. It's an arm of government. Governors and president, they have their own executive arm of government. The legislative have the arm of government. The judiciary have another arm of government. So, and the only arm of government that authenticates democracy is that legislative arm of government.
But have we really seen that independence play out? Because in cases where
and that
the majority of the House of Assembly members are even on the side of the governor, they've been alleged, they've been accused of being a rubber stamp to the executive.
It's the problem we are having in this country. And you will see that for us in Lagos, as far back as almost going to 2 decades now, we don't have an issue with independence of the legislative arm of government, because that arm of government have been given the independence by the law of Lagos State. So when even the National Assembly tried to do that for the assemblies, members, the state assemblies, what do we get? We discovered that many state assemblies does not even have the courage to say, yes, we are voting for our independence. And that is why we're where we are today.
You talked about Lagos. We saw some scare earlier in the year, where the speaker was, telling the governor not to throw stones if you live in glass houses, and was reminding us where he was when he was Speaker of the House, and, his nominees for commissioners were rejected like twice. What did you think play out there? Because
that
for
shows
many,
the independence.
No, that doesn't show the independence. That was the first time in a long time that we will see the Lagos House of Assembly, outrightly go against a sitting governor. It's never happened before.
No, it has.
When?
When during the coup for Origin and Fashola.
It has happened before. That's the point I'm making.
That's a long time ago, yes.
That's the point I'm making. That
listen,
the interpretation was that there was a political disagreement between the House of Assembly and the governor, and that was why they stood their ground. It wasn't a function of independence on the part of an arm of government.
You will see Obasa and the governor in Abuja for the retreat, budget retreat. You will see that there is nothing happening politically, nothing personal. It was just on the basis of principle and defending the institution that every one of them belongs to. So, because the arm of government, that arm of government in Lagos, does not want the interference of the executive arm of government, that does not mean that they have an issue with the governor. No, because that governor will do his bid and go. Another governor will come. But once there is a precedent of a governor trying to override his interests on the legislative arm of government, which is the arm that represents the people, then there is an issue.
So there's a political issue in Rivers State.
Yes.
Unfortunately, both parties do not seem to be under the same umbrella. You mentioned that the FCT, minister is a member of the PDP, but we've seen his disposition, towards the stakeholders within the party, even before this election. We saw him recently singing.
Not seen that disposition.
Did you see the video of him singing on your mandate we shall stand and all of that?
Yes.
That's a political
Every Nigerian should sing that song.
We saw this.
That's anthem.
We saw the
it
position.
It should be a national anthem.
We saw the position he took even before the election. Many called it an anti-party move, supporting, the candidate of the opposition as against, the choice of your party. Who resolves this political disagreement when both of them don't seem to be in the same camp?
That's why I said it earlier. Wike is in PDP. Fubara is in PDP. Since they don't have leaders in their party that can mend the fence for them, it is either one of them leave the party. Because without that, this mess will continue.
It's obvious who is, more the possibility of someone. You can tell who can leave between the two of them, because one is already taking his camp or taking his tent with another party, obviously. And I'm referring to the FCT minister. No one will be shocked if you hear that.
But he's still a PDP member now. He's still a PDP member. Until he becomes an APC member, I cannot talk about that. But as it is this morning, Wike is still a PDP member, representing PDP in our government. Some of us are not happy with that, but that is what we have.
What about, the intervention of Mr. President? That happened
You
before.
can see that when it was within our party in Ondo State, the matter had been resolved. Because we have leadership. We have somebody who they can all run to.
That's the point I'm making. The president also intervened before on this matter, but it didn't resolve the issue.
Yes, it was just trying to resolve it as a father of the nation. But this matter has gone beyond government matter, or is now a matter that has to do with the political party, PDP.
But millions of Nigerians are involved who do business, who reside in River State. If there's issue with governance in the state, shouldn't the president be involved? Being the president of the nation and not just the leader of a political party.
Well, if the matter now will threaten the peaceful coexistence of the people of River State.
You think we're not there yet?
We are not there yet.